So the Vanguard, they're going to criticize TYT for being too war hungry against the Russian invaders.
It does not appear that he has goals of world domination. He wants control of his own region. He wants regional hegemony, which we currently have. But there's no evidence that this guy wants to take over the world. There's no evidence that he has goals of world domination. So to even bring up Hitler, to even bring up World War II, and say, well, we should, take a more aggressive stance as if this is a Hitlerian situation. Basically, what you're advocating for there is World War III. That's straight up what you're advocating for. And in the nuclear age, I'll give you a hint, that doesn't fucking end well. Not just for Russia, but for all of us. That means nuclear annihilation. That's not something that I want to fuck around with. That's not a door I want to open. No matter how much I feel for the people of Ukraine, which I do, 100% solidarity with the people of Ukraine. That being said, this simply is not worth a world over. It's just not.
100% solidarity. 100% solidarity, Ukraine, in words and thoughts and prayers. 100%. All you get all my prayers. But we're not going to go fight, by your side. We're not going to go fight by your side. We're not going to do anything to stop the Russian invasion of your sovereign nation, of your autonomy. We're not going to, self-determination. We don't care about your self-determination. We don't care about your independence, your autonomy. We don't give a shit about your 100%, solidarity, though. 100% solidarity, bro. But, yeah, you're on your fucking own. You're on your fucking own. Sorry, Ukraine. 100% solidarity. So the Vanguard, god damn. What, liberals, it's like herding cats, right? It's like herding cats. The only good thing is I respect people that are, to the left of me, always. And so when people are saying no war, okay, that makes sense. But, if you don't stand up, you've lost already. And so some people might say, well, hell, if we stand up, then that might be the end of everything. If we don't stand up, that's the end of everything. If somebody comes in and they say, we're going to start attacking you, well, if you don't stand up, what you just invited them to do, the limits of tyrants are prescribed by those that they oppress. So slave drivers and, tyrants, governments, Russians, they'll invade anybody that will allow them to invade them until those that they invade stand up and say, knock it the fuck off. So the limits of tyrants is prescribed by those that they oppress. You might think that, hey, you'll just do what Putin is saying for now in hopes that Putin will like you later. No, he's doing this shit because he doesn't respect you. And so by appeasing him, by placating him, by capitulating to him right off the top, it's ridiculous. Vanguard is going to go ham on Nick Brana. There's a third party that, is trying to get started in America. So Vanguard is going to say, we don't need to save. You know what I'm thinking about when it comes to Ukraine? Like right now, it's, was it 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? 3 a.m. So you have, this is the best time to attack. So Russians are attacking the Ukrainians at night. It's in Europe, so I guess, it's 12-hour difference or whatever. But at nighttime, that's when the Russians are attacking. And so since everything's on high alert, you don't know what the fuck is going on, right? Putin is just making all these crazy-ass threats. Hey, he invaded this nation, which gave up their nuclear weapons, so there's a great lesson for the world. But he's doing some dumb shit and kind of daring the rest of the world to, what y'all going to do about it. And so, when it comes to the Vanguard, they're going to go on and say some other things. They're just sipping their tea, sipping their damn coffee, just so lackadaisical. Meanwhile, you got Ukraine, you got a gang of thieves who's raping the shit out of your neighbors, and they're like, just sipping their coffee. What can you do? It's all the way over there. It's not like we got an empire. It's not like we're the policemen of the world. It's not like we spend $700 billion on the military. Yeah, who gives a damn about them Ukrainians? I think Biden needs to stand up to these motherfuckers. I don't know if he's strong enough to fucking do it. and it might be good for his political career or not, but letting Russia take everything over is going to be terrible. So I wonder if motherfuckers are actually banking on Biden not going, after Putin for Ukraine because they want America to collapse. It's one thing to be political, but it's another thing to say, let the whole damn nation collapse. You don't want the president to have a win. You don't want him to have a win because you want your fucking political party in charge, you piles of shit. Ukraine is the second largest nation in Europe. Ukraine is the second largest nation in terms of land area behind France. France is the largest. Number two, Ukraine. And then most populous state, it's number 7 in Ukraine or Europe. And that I included Turkey, and I'm thinking, well, shit, what's the landmass of Turkey for the populous thing? But that's Germany, UK, France, Italy, Spain, and Turkey. Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, Spain, and Turkey. Those 6 countries have more people. So if we're going to turn our back right on these large countries, so okay, we turned our back on Ukraine. Well, maybe we'll give a shit about France and Germany. Maybe we'll care about Italy and the UK and Spain and Turkey. If we don't give a shit about the Ukraine, we probably don't give a shit about anybody. But 100% solidarity, bro. No, actually 300%. 300% solidarity, comrade. Comrade. Now we're comrade till the end. Solidarity 300%. So World War III is about to go down. Vanguard's going after the People's Party, like the problem in America is the lone third party that's trying to organize. It's that third party over there trying to organize. That's the problem. But anyways, I was trying to say something else. The size of the countries. If we don't protect Ukraine, what about Turkey, Poland, Romania, Netherlands, Belgium, Czech Republic, Greece, Portugal, Sweden, Hungary, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Austria, Serbia, Switzerland, Bulgaria, Denmark, Slovakia, Norway, Ireland, Croatia, Moldova, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Albania, Lithuania, North Macedonia, Slovenia, Latvia, Estonia, Montenegro, Luxembourg, Malta, Iceland, Channel Islands, Isle of Man, Andorra, Faroe Islands, Monaco, Liechtenstein. If you don't do it for Ukraine, then do it for Luxembourg and Liechtenstein. Little Luxembourg and little Liechtenstein. We just going to leave little Liechtenstein behind? We can't leave Liechtenstein and Luxembourg behind. Leave no man behind. San Marino and Gibraltar. And then let's compare and contrast Ukraine. There's 44 million souls in Ukraine. You know how many people's in California? 40 million. There's more people in Ukraine than there are in California. So if Russia invades California and California, didn't invite them, we're just going to be like, that's all right. Fuck California. I'm sure the Russians will just stop there. Yeah. Now, Putin said he's only going to take over California. He's just going to denazify and demilitarize California. That is all Hitler is doing. New Jersey has 9.3 million, Virginia 8.6 million, Washington 7.7, Arizona 7.2 million. So if you combine New Jersey, Virginia, Washington State, Arizona, that's still less than the population of Ukraine. So if Putin invades New Jersey, Virginia, Washington, and Arizona, well, he only said he was going to go to New Jersey and Virginia and Arizona. That's all. He was only going to go to. Putin said he's going to denazify Arizona. He's going to denazify Virginia. And he's going to denazify New Jersey. That's what he said. Massachusetts, 7 million. Tennessee, Indiana, 6.9 million, 6.8 million, 5.8 million in Colorado, 4.5 million in Kentucky. That's less than 44 million. So if Putin invaded Massachusetts and Tennessee and Indiana and Colorado and Kentucky, well, that's less than 44 million people. That's not worth fighting and defending, right? 44 million people? Motherfucker, if Ukraine, they're fighting for themselves. That was the big question, right? Do the Ukrainians think of themselves as Russian or do they think of themselves as Ukrainian? They think of themselves as Ukrainian motherfuckers. Ukraine's always been on the fucking map ever since I've known. And they're the second largest in Europe, not counting Russia, behind only France, the second largest, seventh, largest in population, but the second largest in land mass. If you just think in terms of capitalist, there's lots of minerals and resources in Ukraine and people and businesses and buildings and dirt and mountains and probably oil. I bet you there's oil in Ukraine. So, yeah, Italy, Poland, Norway. If the Vanguard, if Russia invades Italy, Poland, Norway, Finland, Germany, Sweden, don't expect the Vanguard to give a fuck. Michael Shea was like, the war is over if he joins. Sayonara, Spain. See you later, Poland. Norway, Finland, Germany. The UK ain't shit. Kazakhstan, Greece. See you later, alligator. I don't know how we could ever repay Ukraine, but I think EU and NATO membership definitely. Honorary U.S. citizenship and a bust in the capital for Zelensky, like Churchill, and the Lend-Lease aid and supplies followed by a Marshall Plan. I like all those ideas. I got it from somebody else on Twitter, but it's good ideas, bro. It's good ideas, bro. People want to sit there and act like, fighting for Luhansk and Donetsk. That's, hey, Putin is fighting for them. Okay, that's important enough to fight for those two tiny little regions over there. What about fighting for Ukraine? Is that important? And, World War II, we're not the one that started the fire when it comes to, World War III. We didn't start, he started World War fucking III when he invaded a sovereign motherfucking nation. You know you're not allowed to do that. So the Vanguard had one good point. They said he's not Hitler because there's not like this major genocidal campaign in Russia against the Jews that's going on. Are you sure? We didn't even know about the bullshit until, the Holocaust until years afterwards. So, and then maybe we'll hear Zach. I think he said something about you got your block and I got my block.
It's not. You can not compare. Like, yeah, well, essentially, what Vladimir Putin is trying to reestablish is the back when the USSR was a superpower in the Eurasian part of the globe, right? So you would have essentially, I would imagine, the ambition is to have fucking United States, Russia, China as like the three bears of the world that's divided up. It's kind of hard to radically oppose that and say we're going to be prepared to go to World War III over that when we already have our chunk of the globe. Like that's all I'm saying, right? So from a geopolitical positioning standpoint, like Russia's basically just trying to do what we already do, and I don't think anybody would think that it was fair for China to start nuking the United States because of our like fucking imperialist ambitions, which are demonstrable far more than Russia's imperialist. Like I said, we bombed Somalia today. How many people saw any fucking reporting about that unless you're on left Twitter? And it was like, no reporting about the bombing in Somalia, but all the reporting about what's going on in Kiev, right? Well, guess who's doing the bombing and who's being bombed in each of those kinds of situations. It goes back to that old Chomsky point about worthy and unworthy victims, right? The people of Ukraine are worthy victims. The people of Somalia are unworthy victims. The people of Libya are unworthy victims. The people of Yemen are unworthy victims, right? That's why when we destroy those countries with the help of NATO, no less, or just a war profiteer with the help of Saudi Arabia, another country that is hell-bent on destroying Yemen with our weapons that we don't seem to give a shit about, right? All these kinds of things that just make it massively, massively hypocritical, guys. to come out here and finger wag and talk about how our country stands up to bullies. Our country is a fucking bully. Putin wants to be a bully too, and we either start World War III or we say, you know what, that's your block, guy. We've got our block. You know what I mean? It's like mafia mentality, unfortunately, and that's not a final world stage that I want to inhabit. But it's also, I mean, it is what it is, you know.
It is what it is, you know. You got your block and I got my block. You got your block and I got my block. What the fuck? So if Zach's neighbors are being raped by a gang of thieves, hey, bro, you know, or if it's not his neighbors, if it's on the block, you know, like a couple blocks down the road, well, you know, that's on 23rd and First Street. I'm on 22nd First, so that's like that's like a whole, you know, that's exactly what goddamn Neville Chamberlain said. What, I'm supposed to sit there, we're supposed to give a shit about some backwoods, you know, forest in the middle of nowhere? Yes, you are. Fucking, you got your block and I got my block. That's a state of nature warfare. You know, you got your block and we got our block and you got your block. What the fuck? And on our block, yes, you're allowed to have a gang of thieves raping the shit out of your neighbors. That's not the kind of block, you know, on your block you're allowed to have that, or on our block we're allowed to have that. What's going on? And they're saying what, we get to militarily dominate the Caribbean and Central and Latin and South American countries, and there's gangland warfare, so it's Bloods and Crips and shit. MS-13 disputed border areas. Is that what we're doing? Well, you know, that's their block. That's our block. What's their block? Ukraine is was Russia's block. Shit ain't right. Shit ain't right. So I guess if I have to choose between the different imperialisms, I would choose America's imperialism over Russia's imperial. I think America's imperialism would check Russia's imperialism. I think America's imperialism would check the world's imperialism. That's why we invest so much goddamn. It's just that we've been a shitty policeman of the world. But if we don't go after a gang of thieves raping the shit out of our neighbors, you don't think that's going to eventually come, you know, to your own goddamn house? And you don't think that's a worthy cause of standing up for? Well, you know, they did say some bad shit about Putin's mother. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Putin's mother. Jesus Christ. Well, the NATO thing, they're allowed to be a part of NATO. They, you know, had an existential crisis. Fucking Russia's going to invade them. They kept telling you, motherfuckers. They needed NATO fucking membership. And you should have let Russia in the damn fucking club, too. I don't like them, you know, 100% solidarity. I don't like them abusing that term. It's like, hey, neighbor, I support your rights to not be robbed and raped and attacked and murdered. Neighbor, you know, the golden rule, you treat your neighbor just, I don't want those bad things that Russia is doing to you, Ukraine. I won't stand up against it or say anything about it to stop it, but no worries, bro. No worries, bro. I'll give you 100% solidarity. Hell, shit, I'll give you 300% solidarity while we're just chucking out bullshit platitudes masquerading as socialist